Anina Banujiug. It's time for Friday Literacy, and the book I picked out for you today is called What Animals Do on Day One, my first day. And the pictures and illustrations are by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. The reason I picked this book is it is also in keeping with our grandfather teaching of love that we've been talking about all week. This book It occurred to me to pick this book because yesterday we talked about caring for other people, caring for their bodies and their minds and their hearts. And that can look different for everybody. People need and want different things, and I wanted to show you this book so you can get a look at how little baby animals, before they're born and after they're born, what love looks like for them. And I want you to keep in mind, as I read this book to you, keep in mind all of the people who love and care about you and who have helped you since your first day. You are very lovable, and I promise you have been wanted and loved since your very first day on this planet. All right, let's get started. Oh. My First Day by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. What did you do on your first day? The day you were born? Probably not much if you were like most newborn babies. You opened your eyes, cried, slept, and drank some milk. And that's about all you could do. Some animals are even more helpless than humans at birth. Kittens, for instance, are born with their eyes and ears closed. Others may have a helpful parent nearby, but are able to walk, swim, or fly almost as soon as they are born. And many animals are on their own from the very start. Wow. On my first day, I spent hours kicking my way out of my egg. As soon as I hatched, I was ready to take care of myself. Kiwi bird. But I was helpless. I couldn't even open my eyes. My mother cleaned me, fed me, and kept me safe. Siberian tiger. On my first day, I jumped out of my nest and fell a long, long way. And paddled after my mother. Wood duck. On my first day, I was born high above the ground, and I landed in a heap. Giraffes actually fall 6 feet when they're born. Wow. But I wasn't hurt, and before long I was taking my first steps. On my first day, it was cold. I climbed out of my egg and stood on my father's feet and snuggled into his feathers to stay warm. Emperor penguin. On my first day, my mother held me close so I wouldn't drift out to sea. I dozed on her belly while she floated in the waves. Sea otter. On my first day, I raced to the water. The beach was a dangerous place, and I was on my own as soon as I hatched. Leatherback sea turtle. On my first day, I trotted along with my mother. My herd was on the move, and I had to keep up. Blue wildebeest. On my first day, I rode piggyback with my mother. I'd have been easy prey for a snake or eagle if I'd stayed behind. This is a sifaka. On my first day, I made a splash. I could swim and dive when I was just a few hours old. Capybara. On my first day, my mother memorized the pattern of my stripes. If I wandered off, she could find me, even among thousands of zebras in my herd. On my first day, I couldn't keep up with my mother. While she searched for food, my striped and speckled coat helped me hide in the underbrush. A tapir. On my first day, my mother and I called back and forth. Now we recognize each other's voices, and I won't get lost among the other sea lion pups. California sea lion. On my first day, it was dark, and I was surrounded by a million other baby bats. But when my mother returned from catching insects, my cry and scent led her right to me, a Mexican free-tailed bat. On my first day, I hatched inside a big pile of leaves and grass. By the time I crawled out, I could walk, run, and fly. A megapode. On my first day, I hopped out of my father's mouth. When I was a tadpole, he kept me safe in a special pouch in his throat. But once I became a frog, it was time to be on my own. Darwin's frog. On my first day, my mother lifted me to the surface to take a breath. When I was just an hour old, I was able to swim and breathe on my own. Manatee. On my first day, my parents stood guard when danger threatened. Musk ox. And my mother did something most insect parents don't. She stayed close and protected me and my brothers and sisters. On my first day, I went everywhere with my mother. I clung to her fur as she slept, ate, and swung through the treetops. Golden snub-nosed monkey. But my mother had to leave me to look for food. I stayed very still, and my spotted coat blended in with the shadows. Muntjac. Oh my. On my first day, I curled up in a cozy den beneath the snow. I was safe and warm beside my mother, and soon I fell asleep. Polar bear. The end. What did you do on your first day? Well, you are almost big second graders now, and I'm sure you don't exactly remember your first day. But something that I think would be fun for you to try and you'll need a paper for it, is I would like you to say, I am years old. I can You can write down as many different things as you can think of. Maybe you'd like to say that you can make your own bowl of cereal in the morning. Maybe you'd like to say, I can tie my shoes by myself. Pick anything that you can do. And when you have picked it, write down your sentence. You can stretch out the words all by yourself. We've been practicing that all year. And draw a picture that goes along with your sentence. One thing that I can do, I am 34 years old. I can make magic E. E gives it strength. Ache. I can make you. That's a heart word. Can't stretch that word. Just have to learn it by heart. I can make you tube. Ooh. Ooh. We talked about how that double O makes the ooh sound in a lot of words. YouTube. I can make YouTube videos. Vid-e-os. Vid. Vid. Vid-e. Oh, that's easy. Vid-e-os. Videos. I can make YouTube videos on my own. 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 There. Now plop at the end. I am 34 years old. I can make YouTube videos on my own. So what I would do is probably draw exactly what I can see from this side of the YouTube video. So you can see me. I'm kind of sitting on a chair. It's a long chair. It's almost kind of like a couch. It's very comfy. So this is me kind of sitting with my feet. And you can see me and my arms are here. My laptop is actually over here. And you know, I have to say one cool thing about making YouTube videos is I mostly am getting good at making them because I really want to be with you, because I miss you so much. I know this is not at all like the learning that we're used to doing, but at least it's a way for us to stay in touch and be together sometimes. So I'm curious to see if you will show me what you can do. It's not your first day anymore. Big second grader almost. Let me know. What's something that you can do? Draw a picture to go with it, maybe add a touch of color. It doesn't have to be a wow picture if you don't want. And if you're feeling brave, you could take a picture of it and post it on Seesaw. I'll be able to see it, and so will all your first grade friends. All right. That's all for Friday Literacy. I will put up a new literacy video on Monday. All right. Take care of yourself. Be healthy. Know that I miss you and I love you. And I will see you in another video on Monday. Gekko Wabamin.